Hey guys, welcome to the 110th, that's right, the 110th edition of Animated Girls Profile Confidential. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. Hopefully I'll try to get this done on a regular basis, a semi-regular basis. I know when I definitely get back to regular scheduling on this, it'll be within a few weeks. But anyway, welcome to the 110th edition, and the title says it best. We're going back to Sonic Boom, and we're going to talk about Perci the Bandicoot. Now, Perci basically is a character that was introduced exclusively for Sonic Boom. She was introduced somewhat like a guardian of the island that Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Stick live on. You know, that is how she is presented. She's like a guardian, a local hero, stuff like that. And she does play a major role in the Rise of Lyric game, from what I understand. Well, at least a semi-major role. Now, when she gets introduced in the Sonic Boom cartoon, she's kind of looked at as a bit of a background character, minor character, if you will. She doesn't really play much of a role at times, if you will. It isn't until she has an incident with her bike, that basically, we get more of Perci than we normally would get otherwise. Hold on for a sec. Like I said, we don't get much of her until season 1, until basically when she meets up with Sonic and Knuckles and all them. And it's in the episode Fire in a Crowded Workshop is, as I was trying to say before I took that first break to make sure I get the information right. Fire in a Crowded Workshop is the first time, because like I said, she kind of plays like a minor role a little bit throughout season 1 until this episode where we get full on Perci, interacting with Sonic and Knuckles and Amy and all that, because basically her bike broke. And when she goes to look for help, or ask for some help and all that, Sonic and Knuckles become smitten with her. Now, this is kind of ironic because the original idea, even with the Sonic Boom video games, is that Sonic and Knuckles would take a liking to her. Like, oh my gosh, it's this attractive girl, I've got to be the one that gets with her. Think of along the lines, if you will, of Chip and Dale fighting over Gadget. Something to that extent. Not as much, much of an extent, but somewhat to that extent in a way. Anywho, Amy basically is trying to be like the voice of reason here and all that. Sonic and Knuckles are making up stories, exaggeration stories. Long story short, a fire breaks out in Tails' workshop. Tails realizes it was the alarm that he did not set to prevent anybody from going in there. And as a make good, he decides he'll take care of Perci's bike. He'll fix it for her and go from there. And what's funny about this is, a lot of fans like to ship Tails with just about every female in the Sonic franchise that's known to a fan, that they basically feel is a perfect fit for him. Now, naturally, they'll go and say, well, Tails will end up with Mina Mongoose because that's what was said as a precedent in the Archie books, which is true. Some have said that he still might be with Fiona. Some would say he's going to be with Little Moon. Some would say he's going to be with Barbari Koala. Some have said, hey, maybe he'll end up with Rouge. And some have said, hey, maybe, this will happen, or that will happen. And someone said, hey, did you see Sonic X? He might end up with Cosmo. He had Cosmo, something like that. Or even with Sonic Boom, he has a love interest named and known as Zoe. But what's funny is it's at the end of this episode, Fire in a Crowded Workshop, which is an 11-minute episode. It's at the end of this where all of a sudden, when Tails is fixing her bike, and they're kind of talking a little bit, Tails is talking with her a little bit, she says the line that she likes the guy who's handy. And Tails basically lifts up the the face plate to protect him from the sparks and all that. He lifts it up and he's kind of blushing. It's like, okay. Like, he didn't expect that. And I don't think us as viewers expected that either. But yeah, Percy basically was flirting with Tails there, if you will. And somebody, I'm not going to say what their name is, but somebody took that to the upteenth level by kind of going a little NFSW, if you know what I mean, with a fan comic based on that scene, if you will. But yeah, Percy has made more than just that appearance as well. She's made appearances in season 2, where she gets a call from her sister because she has a sister, and the twins. That's right. Her sister's name is Stacy. That's Stacy with an I. And it's Percy with an I as well, just in case you guys, see the captions kind of spell it out differently here on YouTube. But she gets a phone call from her sister finding out that Dr. Eggman in Sonic Boom is not a real doctor. And so they start spreading the words of, hey, that guy that says he's a doctor that tries to, make our lives a living heck sometimes? He's not a real doctor. He's not this, he's not that. And it isn't until he gets a real doctrine at the end that he becomes a real doctor when it comes to that episode. But yeah, she's made appearances here and there. She's one of those kind of characters that basically, when they need to give an additional character a major role that is part of the Sonic Boom franchise, she'll be one of those kind of characters. Now, I do believe she has made appearances in the Sonic Boom comics when they were being published by Archie. So I know she's probably made a few appearances there and played some major roles as well. But yeah, when this character came out, I'll tell you honestly, when this character first initially came out, people were like, they were kind of surprised a little bit, because the way her personality was described is she's a kind-hearted, tough as nails character, who likes to work on things. She's kind of a mechanic. And it kind of reminded them, believe it or not, this is truth. When Percy was announced and all these, personality traits about her were coming out, it reminded them, believe it or not, of Sally. It really did. It reminded them a lot of Sally. And it reminded fans so much to a point that somebody did a comic, I gotta look this up, but somebody did a comic, kind of like a behind-the-scenes deal for Sonic Boom. And Sonic basically, got Sally a part in the series, but she couldn't be herself. And how he got her the part was the initial character that was supposed to play Percy, who went by the same name, was not there because she was sick or something like that. And Sally decided, okay, I'll take on the role. And in this fan-made comic, she paints herself purple with makeup and puts on a headdress, which basically covers her hair and everything, makes her, it's a Percy headdress, if you will. And she basically turns herself into Percy. And she even says, "Hi, Percy," in the mirror to herself. And it isn't until the end of the comic where it's revealed that Sally had dressed herself up as Percy to take on the role, because the story basically indicated that there was no place for Sally in Sonic Boom, whatsoever, even though the Archie comics was still going on at the time. So it was kind of a metaphor of like, you make this new show animated wise, you have a whole cast of characters in this book, why not utilize them, But yeah, basically Percy, basically when Percy came out and the personality traits were all explained about who she was and everything, the comparisons to her being similar in a way to Sally really started to, percolate, if you will, to the surface. I'm not sure if people thought about that afterwards when she did the little flirtation with Tails at the end of Fire in a Crowded Workshop, but that's another tale for another time. But yeah, Percy, man, she's a cool character. She's like one of those characters that I truly believe that they really want to bring her back and focus on her a lot in a Sonic franchise continuation somewhat down the line. I think she would work out well. I really do. But that's all I'm going to say for Percy here, the Bandicoot, Percy the Bandicoot. That's what she is. That's her animal. Percy the Bandicoot here on the 110th edition of the Animated Girls Profile Confidential. Thank you all for watching. Like the video, comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on Percy, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Love to hear from each and every one of you. And y'all take care, and we will be back later down the line with 111th edition. Who will it be? You'll just have to wait and find out.